Hi, this is Sean Washburn from YourExcelTutor.com. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope you enjoy this video. We're going to take a quick look at row and column headers. And these are these ABCs across the top and the numbers on the left. They do tell you, they have a couple jobs. They do tell you kind of where you're at in your whole workspace, so you can know your location. But they also have a lot of other functions with them. And a couple of the things are, we're going to start, just kind of go through them here. One is if you want to change the width of a column. So like this column here, column F, it's a little too wide. I don't need all that space. So there's a couple ways I can change it. If I come over here, you notice when I'm on F, I get a little down arrow icon. But when I go between F and G, I get this little different icon. So if I want to change the width, one thing I can do is I can come over here until this changes. I can click and hold down, and then I can drag that over and get exactly what size I want. Another way you can do it is it can do it for you, and that's called auto fitting. And if I come over here, I double click, it kind of knows what I want to do. That's its way of knowing that you want to auto fit and make it a certain size, just kind of as small as possible. And so that's another way to do it. I can also right click and go to column width, and I can actually type one in. So maybe I type in 6. I usually don't use that because I rarely know exactly what size. It's just easier to drag it or do the auto fit. So that's for the width. Now let's say you wanted to make all of them the same width. You can highlight a bunch. So I click, drag across here. Now I've got them all highlighted. Now if I go between any two of them and I start to drag them, what it'll do is whatever the width is that I've got, so in this case it's 16, they're all going to be that same width. But maybe I'm like, ooh, I didn't want to do that. I just want them to auto fit. Then what I can do is I come back here, I double click now, and it's going to go to each column and fit it down to as small as possible for what's in that column. Okay, something else that you can look at here too is if I want to, if you right click on the column, like so I right click here, it gives you menu items and toolbar items. So you can do a lot of quick things with one column, or even if I select a bunch of columns here, I'll select E through H and right click, I can do the same thing. So I could change the color and whatever I really want to do there. But it also gives you some column specific things. So like I can insert columns. So in this case, I've selected 4 columns. If I hit insert, it's actually going to put 4 columns between D and E. Or I could delete all these columns, or I could clear the contents, which means just all the text would be gone from those columns. You can format. That'll give you more options to do different things on there. I can change the column width this way. I could hide these. Now hiding and unhiding, you can hide columns, and sometimes I will do that to hide maybe formulas that I don't want people to see, or just to make something cleaner. It gives you that option. You just got to be careful, because if you forget that they're hidden, it can be really easy to wipe out stuff that you didn't realize was still there. And the same thing, if you open up a file, it may have hidden columns. The easiest way to tell is you look across the top, and you can see that there's a letter that's missing or a row that's missing. In this version of Excel, if I hide, it does give me a little tiny kind of like a remnant of the column. In past versions, it'll do it different ways. So you kind of, whatever version you're using, I would say just play around with it and see how it works for that. And then to unhide, I could either undo what I just did, or I can select the columns in either side and then go over here, hit unhide, and it'll pop back. One cool thing too is you can we saw how you can insert columns. If I wanted to move H between F and G, the old way that I used to do it was I would come in here, I'd cut the column, and then I'd come over to G, and I would insert the column. But there's a better way, and what they've shown is once you highlight a column, you'll notice that there's a border around the whole column, and there's this little box up top. If you want to move that column, what you do is you get the little 4 arrow icon, and then you click, and I can start to kind of move this column anywhere I want. But right now it's going to overwrite anything I put it on. If I want to go between 2 columns, I keep this held down and I hit Shift, and it changes, and now I can actually insert it between 2 columns. So now I come over here, I let go of my mouse, and it inserts it. So that's a quick tip that I didn't know until recently, and I found that's really useful. So if you wanna move a bunch of columns around, that's an easy way to do it. And so I would just say play around with a file. With any of these things, play around with a file that's maybe not that's not important, but where you can mess something up and undo and whatever, just so you're not going to risk deleting something or hiding something that you didn't intend to do. But take advantage of all this functionality with the columns and rows. That's really useful, and it makes it easy to work with your data. If you found this video helpful, show the love and hit the subscribe button below. For more help with Excel, visit my website at yourexceltutor.com. There you can suggest new video topics as well as connect with me to work more on your own Excel challenges. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes to make yourself more efficient today. Now learn more with these great videos.